Good morning. Hi. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hi. So we're just coming up to 9:30. Feel free to choose how you would like to start your practice this morning. So just take a moment to think about what you most need, how you're feeling, and then either stay seated or come to lie down. So just choosing a position that honours where you are at energetically this morning. And then we'll take these first few moments to just notice how we are feeling, acknowledging what you have brought with you to the mat this morning. You might like to sigh the breath away 2 or 3 times. And then perhaps asking yourself, what is longing to be known, to be heard? What is informing you as you arrive on your yoga mat this morning? And can you be present with what is? Having plenty of stimuli makes it easy for us to distract ourselves from what we're feeling. But when there is silence, our feelings and bodily sensations present themselves clearly. Now, can you begin to bring a soft attention to your breath? You might like to rest your hands over your heart as you begin to connect with your breath, bringing your full awareness to this present moment. So following the pathway of the breath all the way in and following the pathway of the breath all the way out. Allowing the breath to slow down, to deepen, to lengthen. During August of this year, I read the book Breathe, A Life in Flow by the famous jiu-jitsu master, Rickson Gracie. And so far, it's been my favourite book of this year. Incredibly inspiring in so many ways. A large part of Rickson's training involved working with a yoga and meditation teacher. And a large premise of the book involves the importance of leaning into discomfort. So this is something I've personally been working with the past few months, this idea of leaning into discomfort, not running away or distracting myself when things get hard or I start to feel uncomfortable, but staying in the moment, staying with whatever is presenting itself in the moment, however painful, however challenging that may be. And interestingly, when I did the course in September, focusing on the work of William Whitecloud, this was also a big part of the training. The idea that tension is not bad, that tension is actually creative. Our resistance to tension is actually what disempowers us. Our desire to resolve the tension straight away is what disempowers us. William Whitecloud actually shared with us that if a client says to him that they're freaking out about something, his reply will always be good. And he emphasized that if we try to remove tension from someone by saying things like, don't worry, everything will work out, you're going to be okay, we're actually taking away from that person what needs to be addressed and worked through by themselves. These ideas are also similar to a favourite teacher of mine, Mary O'Malley, and one of her most famous books is What's in the Way is the Way. What's in the way is the way. So the invitation in this morning's practice is to lean into discomfort, whether we are sitting or lying still or practicing different yoga postures, to endeavour to stay with what is. Stay with our discomfort. Stay with, sorry, that was my daughter leaving the house. Stay with our broken heart. Stay with our grief, our failing health, our achy hip, our sore back, our thumping head. Stay close to ourselves and just breathe. Perhaps resting a hand over our heart, offering ourselves some kindness, tenderness, understanding. And perhaps you might repeat some soothing words to yourself, like, I love you, Helen. I love you, Kathy. I love you, Wendy. If you are seated, in a moment we're going to come to lie down. So just take your time now, if you are seated, to exhale the breath and come to lie down in a fully reclined position. I'll come back to join you on my mat in a moment. So just when you do lie down, make sure that you are lying in a nice straight line. Head, neck and spine in alignment. Tucking the chin forward so the back of the neck is long. And we're going to incorporate a soothing sound into our practice this morning. The sound ooh. So it's H-U-G-H. In a moment, we'll be raising the arms up overhead, and then as we lower the arms back down, we'll incorporate this sound. So we're going to work with 5 of these. So your arms are by your sides, your feet are about hip width apart. Let's exhale all breath. And then breathing in, let's sweep the arms up overhead, stretching from fingertip to toe tip. And then we'll chant the arms down. So 4 more of these. Inhale. So let's keep going. You can work at your own time with your own breath. Breathing in, arms lift up and overhead. Ooh. Ooh. And last one. Ooh. Take a deep breath in and sigh the breath away. We're going to go straight into the dynamic leg lock pose now. So we're starting in this same position. And as we breathe in, we'll take both arms up overhead. But this time as we exhale, we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers around the knee. Head may lift towards the knee if that's okay for your neck. Otherwise, you just keep the head down. So we're going to do 4 more of these. Inhale, stretch the leg away, the arms lift up and overhead. And as we exhale, draw the knee in, perhaps lifting the head. Synchronizing the movement with your breath. Breathing in, stretch it out. And exhaling. 2 more. On this last one, we're going to keep the head down because we're going to keep a hold of that knee. So drawing the right knee in and get a hold, pointing the left toes now. And as we inhale, let's raise that left leg up to the sky, flex the foot. And as we exhale, slowly lowering the left leg down. Heel can hover off the floor. And then we point the toes, inhaling, raise the leg and flex. Exhaling, lower. Take the leg up. And this time we're keeping that left leg in the air, and let's just start to point and flex the foot. Saying good morning to our ankle. And then let's circle the foot. Some nice slow circles. And reversing. Good. Now slowly lower the left leg down, and then we're going to move into a twist. So we're going to place the right foot on the left thigh, left hand to the outer edge of the knee, right arm out at shoulder height. And as we exhale, we're carrying that knee across the body, trying to relax the right shoulder down, either keeping the head in a neutral position or gently turning your head to look along the right arm. Make sure that you're not clenching the teeth, just soften the jaws, the skin of the face, the forehead is smooth, and allowing the breath to flow. Gently come back to center, give that knee a hug, and then just stretch the right leg away. So now we'll do the same sequence on the other side. When you're ready, inhale, stretch both arms up overhead. And this time we're drawing the left knee in. Head may lift towards the knee. Inhaling, so 4 more of these. Exhaling, draw in. Let's keep going. Breathing in and breathing out. This last time, keep the head down, holding onto the knee, point the right toes, and let's inhale, stretch the right leg up, flex the foot, and lowering down. Heel may hover off the floor. Point the toes, inhale, flex, and lower. And taking the leg up, and this time we're holding the leg in the air, pointing and flexing the foot. Good, and then some nice slow circles. And reverse. Good, and carefully lowering the right leg down. So left foot on the right thigh, right hand to the outer edge of the left knee, left arm out at shoulder height. And as we exhale, carrying that knee across the body, endeavoring to relax that left shoulder down. And perhaps turning the head to look along the left arm. Allowing the breath to flow. Good. Gently bring that leg back to center. Give it a hug. And let's draw both knees in towards the chest now. Perhaps a little rock from side to side. So coming back now to our chant of Hu. In a moment, we're going to raise both legs up to the sky, and then we'll chant them back in. So we'll do 5 of these. So coming back to center, tuck the chin forward. And on your next inhale, stretch both legs up, arms overhead or out to the side. Press the lower back down and chanting back in. Ooh. So 4 more of these. Inhale. Ooh. Let's keep going. Ooh. Ooh. Last one. Place the feet down on the mat, stepped up close to the buttocks, hip distance apart. We're going to move now into Setu Bandhasana bridge pose, either keeping your arms down alongside you, or if you like, you can join with me and we'll add an arm movement. So again, just check that your head, neck and spine are in a straight line. Exhale, all breath. As we breathe in, we're going to start to peel the spine away from the floor and perhaps lift that left arm up overhead. Now, as we lower the back, we're going to keep the left arm where it is. On the next inhalation, we're lifting up, and this time, right arm is lifting up overhead. And then both arms stay there as we lower down. Keep the chin tucking forward. Breathing in, we lift up a third time. And this time we lower both arms down with our spine. Good. So that's the sequence. Inhale, left arm lifts and stays there as we lower the back. Now the right arm lifts and stays there as we lower the back. Inhale, lifting up and lowering everything down. Let's do that once more. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, right arm lifts. And we lower the spine. Lifting up and lowering everything down. And take a resting breath. Let's draw both knees into the chest, cross your legs at the ankles, a hand on each knee, and we'll make some little circles on the floor. Good. Cross the legs the other way, and let's circle in the opposite direction. And then we're going to gently roll over to one side and come up to sit in a comfortable seated position. So you might sit up onto a blanket or a cushion if you'd like a little bit of support under the sit bones. Let's make sure that we have a nice tall spine here. Softening the shoulders. We're just going to work with a little visualization breathing practice before we start to do some stretches for our neck. So this is a really good practice to help us ground. So it's a beautiful grounding practice, but also helps us stay with what is. So we're going to, if we feel comfortable, close the eyes or just have a soft downward glance. And imagine as we breathe in that we're drawing the breath in from above the head. So there's a channel or stream of energy beaming down from the sky. So we're inhaling, we're drawing the breath, that energy in through the crown, taking it down to our spiritual heart center where we pause for a moment. And then on the exhalation, we send that breath, we send that energy down through the body and into the earth. So it's a very anchoring breath practice. So let's work with a few more rounds. As we breathe in, we imagine we're drawing the breath, energy, awareness in through the crown of the head. We take it to the heart. On the exhalation, we send the breath, we send our awareness down through the body and deep into Mother Earth. So breathing in through the crown, take the breath to the heart. And exhale, send it down through the body and deep into the earth. Let's work with 3 more breaths in this way. Finish, just releasing the practice. I'm going to do a little bit of a stretch for our neck now. So let's breathe in. And as we breathe out, just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale, drawing the head back to center. Keep the face relaxed. And then tip the head over to the other side. Breathing in, head comes to center. Perhaps a gentle smile on your lips. And tipping right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, head to center. And exhale to the left. Let's do 1 more to each side. And then just keeping the head over to the left. And we're going to now roll the head around the back, all the way around to the right shoulder, and then back again. So let's do a few of these, nice and slowly. You can even lift the shoulders up a little bit. So you're massaging into the back of the upper part of the back where we can store a lot of tension, a lot of discomfort up there and in the neck. Good. And then just bring the head to center, drop the shoulders, bring the chin to the chest, and same thing. So just going to roll the head, the chin from one shoulder to the other, nice and slowly. And lift the head to center. Good. Let's bring the palms of the hands together. Rub the palms until they feel nice and warm. We're going to work with our 5-step self-holding practice. So again, another beautiful, soothing, self-soothing, calming practice for those times when we're really struggling to stay with what is, to stay with discomfort, with pain, with tension. So first of all, we're resting the hands on the side of the head. Eyes can be open or closed. And just a few breaths here. And then we're going to move to the second position. So one hand goes onto the forehead, other hand onto the back of the head, and a few breaths here. Again, you might come back to those words, those caring, soothing words. It might be, I'm here for you, or I've got you, or I love you. I'm aware of the suffering. Thich Nhat Hanh likes to use the words, my darling. I'm aware of the suffering, my darling. I care for you. I'm here for you, my darling. Good. Now we're going to drop the hand that's on the back of the head to the heart. So one hand stays on the forehead. A few breaths here. I've got you. I'm here for you. I love you, my darling. And then the hand that's on the forehead goes down to the belly. And then the hand that's on the heart just goes back to the back of the head. A few breaths here. And release. If you need to change your leg position, please feel free to. And we're going to work with just a gentle lateral stretch now. So we're going to breathe the arms out to the side, sitting nice and tall and tipping over to the left side. So this right arm stretching up and over the head. And then we breathe ourselves back to center and tip over to the right side. Inhale. Exhale over to the left. To the right. One more to each side. And then we're going to move into an open twist. So breathe the arms out to shoulder height. And then we're turning to the left, but the right hand goes to the inner edge of the right knee. Left fingers behind as we turn to look over the left shoulder. We'll just hold this for a few breaths. Tuck the chin in a little so the back of the neck is in a straight line with the rest of your spine. And breathe. And then come back to center. And twisting to the right side. Inhale. Now we're going to do that once again. You can either do an open twist or this time we do a closed twist. So the right hand to the outer edge of the left knee, left fingers behind, or some of you again might like to now wrap the arm around the back, reaching towards your right thigh, looking over that left shoulder. A few breaths here. Inhale to center. And twisting to the other side. So an open twist or a closed twist. and back to center. Good. All right, we're going to work now with wheeling the body. So either legs might be crossed, or you might be having the legs in a diamond shape if that's better for you. Hands just resting lightly on your knees. And we're going to start to make some nice, slow circles with the upper body. Eyes can be open or closed. Again, perhaps a little gentle smile on your lips. Good. Now if your legs are crossed, change the cross of the legs and let's circle in the opposite direction. Good. And then we'll come back to center and we're going to stretch forward. So as you exhale, come forward. You might like to turn your gaze to the center of your forehead, so Shambhavi Mudra, eyebrow center gazing. And if you'd like to join with me, we'll chant that beautiful soothing sound, cool, 3 times here. So breathing in. Slowly come up. Let's bring the legs out in front and preparing to work now with table pose. So coming back to another back bend. So hands go behind, the fingers are turned away. If you don't want to lift up this morning, if you're feeling quite low in energy, you might just even stay here. So really trying to move the chest forward, the shoulders back, tilting the head up a little bit and just hold this position and breathe. Those of you who'd like to take it a little bit further, as we inhale, we're going to lift the buttocks. Seeing if you can bring the body up. Any neck issues, you look along the body. Otherwise, you might be able to drop the head. And as we exhale, we lower the buttocks down. So long, smooth inhalation lifts us up. And long, smooth exhalation lowers us down. Let's do a few more. Linking the movement with your breath. And last one. Release the hands. If you need to, you can give the wrists a bit of a shake and we'll have a go at boat. So a gentle option is to hold on to the opposite wrist underneath your knees. So this is our start position. Some of you might like to hold the outside of your lower legs. And when you're ready, let's start to lean back and see if we can lift our feet up. Bringing the shins parallel to the floor, inner edge of the big toes touching, squeezing the inner knees towards each other. Face soft, mouth relaxed, and breath is flowing. Some of you might like to release the hands and just have the palms facing each other alongside the legs. So listening to your body this morning. Sometimes we do feel we can go that little bit further, challenge ourselves a little bit, stay with a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of tension, as long as we don't go over the edge into pain that's not good for us. So sometimes in yoga called playing the edge, playing out the edge. So not always staying in our comfort zone. When you've had enough, just quietly lower the legs down. You can rest forward for a breath or two. And then we're going to change positions and come around into extended child. So big toes touching, knees are hip width or a little bit wider, arms extending forward. And we're going to stay here for 5 or 6 breaths, and just invite you to stay with yourself and notice what you notice. If you identify any uncomfortable physical sensations or feelings, you might say to yourself, can I just be with this part? And what does this part most need from me? Can I just be with this part, or can I stay with this part? And what does this part most need from me? Okay, we're going to work with a variation of our hippie cat. So we're going to actually interlace the fingers this morning to keep the forearms down and come up onto our knees, and then we're going to make some nice little circles around with our hips. So just circling around over the mat. So you're drawing a circle with your hips. Good, and then reversing directions. And come back into extended child. Extend the arms forward, a couple of breaths here. All right, we're going to work with a little flowing sequence, moving from child into cat and back into child. And if you'd like to join with me, we'll come back to that soothing sound, cool, as we're exhaling. So let's exhale all breath in child. And then breathing in as we come up onto all fours. And chanting back. Inhaling up onto all fours and chanting back. Let's keep going at your own pace with your own breath. Let's do one more. Take a resting breath. And now preparing to move along the mat into a low cobra and then back into child. So we're going to try perhaps 5 of these. So as we inhale, let's come along the mat. Pressing into the palms as we lift up, bend the legs and push back. So 4 more of these. Inhaling, sliding forward, lifting up and push back. When you finish again, you're in child, take a resting breath. This time you might like to make fists of the hands, so just rest your forehead on your fists. And we're going to come up onto all fours and work with our cat twist. Parivrtta Majariasana. Cat twist. So we're on all fours. We're going to take the left hand under the heart center. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're sliding the left arm under the right. So bringing the left side of the face down onto the mat. This right hand can stay on the mat, or we can rest it on the sacrum. Or some of you might like to extend that right arm up. Excuse me. If you'd like to take it a little bit further, we can turn that right arm and then drop that right arm down around the back, reaching for our left thigh, and then just working to roll that right shoulder back and breathe. So it's a pretty uncomfortable position. It's a good opportunity for us to learn to stay with what is, to be present, and to learn to try to just breathe and soften a little bit if we can. Look for those moments when we can soften and relax and let go a little. Whether that's on a physical level or emotional, mental. Good. Let's take that right hand down to the mat, come back to all fours, and let's try the other side. So right hand under your heart center. As you exhale, sliding that arm underneath, so right side of the face is down. The left hand might stay on the mat or come onto your sacrum or extend the left arm up. And perhaps some of you might like to turn that arm and drop it around the back, reaching for your right thigh, rolling the left shoulder back. So this side might feel quite different to the first side. It's okay. Can we stay and breathe in this relatively uncomfortable position? Let the breath flow. Good. And then let's gently release, coming up onto all fours and just stretching back into extended child for a couple of breaths. And then sliding your fingers towards you as we uncurl the spine and come up to kneel. So either in a low kneel, or if it's better for you, you can be in a high kneel. We're going to go through a few rounds of our kneeling salute. And at the end of each round, when we come to hands into prayer position, we'll chant Hu. So we'll just pause in between the rounds for the chant. So 3 rounds. The third round, we'll add an extra pose as we go. It's exhale all breath. Just relax the shoulders, lengthening up through the crown. And then as we breathe in, let's take the arms up. And exhale, come forward. Inhale, cat. Down, face dog pose. Let's stay here for 1 breath. Lowering the knees. Into child. Sliding on the floor, coming through into a low cobra. And back into child. Inhale. And exhale. So we pause here, we take a breath. And again, inhale. Inhale, to dog. Let's take a breath here. Down to the knees. Into child. Through into cobra. And into child. Again, we pause and inhale. Last one, so adding on here. Inhale, cat, into dog. Now we're going to pause here and look towards our hands, stepping the left leg forward And we're going to carefully come up to stand. See if we can staying on the ball of the right foot. So our hips are square, feet are about hip width apart to help us with our balance. We're going to straighten that left leg, take the arms above the head, and we bend the left leg as we swing one arm forward, the other arm back, and then we straighten the left leg. So one arm forward, other arm back, and straighten. So you can keep this slow this morning, or you can speed it up. Good. And then we'll take the hands down on either side of the left foot, come back into dog. Now you might like to rest in child and for a breath or two, otherwise let's just hold dog for a couple of breaths. We're going to do the other side. So when you're ready, stepping the right leg forward, carefully coming up to stand. So we're on the ball of the left foot, the right leg is straight, the arms are above the head. And now this time as we bend the leg, we're going to swing the opposite arm forward. Opposite arm forward. Opposite arm forward. Good. And then both hands down on either side of the right foot, back into dog. A couple of breaths here. And then lowering down onto your knees, into child, sliding along the floor, back into child. Inhale, come up. And exhale. Pausing here as we breathe in. Release. All right, let's come back onto all fours. And a couple of options. So either working, knees are together, either working with a gentle calf stretch by taking the left leg back and just tucking the toes under. So you might just stay here. And then after you've had about 5 breaths here, you might swap sides and then take the right leg back. Those of you who want to go a little bit further this morning, you can come along with me. We're going to take the right leg back and come into plank. So the body's in a straight line. And then we might even try coming into our side balance, Vasisthasana 1. So we bring the left hand into the center of the mat, roll over onto the edge of the left foot. So right foot is on top. Right hand might go onto your hip, or you might be able to extend that right arm up. And if you feel really steady, perhaps looking up, otherwise looking forward or down and breathing. And then we'll come back into plank and we'll try the other side. Right hand into the center, left foot on top of right, left hand on your hip, perhaps extending the left arm up, perhaps looking up, and breathe. Bring the left hand down, and let's drop the knees and come into child, any version of child you find restful. So you might have your arms alongside you or resting your forehead on your fists. Now either resting, staying in child, or we'll try one more strengthening practice, which is a low plank. So if you'd like to come along with me, we're going to interlace the fingers, elbows are shoulder width apart, and tuck the toes under so the body's in a straight line. And we're going to hold. And if you'd like to play around with this a little bit, you can try crossing one foot or one ankle on top of the other. Hold that for a couple of breaths. And then try swapping it over. And then when you've had enough, we're all going to come to lie down on our tummies. Just rest one hand on top of the other, your chin or your forehead on your hands, and take a rest here. Sighing the breath away if that feels good. Just taking a moment to pause so that you can truly notice what's going on inside. Again, if you notice some discomfort, some tension, you might say to yourself, can I just be with this part? And what does this part most need from me? I'd like to share with you a little passage from Thich Nhat Hanh. He says, when suffering comes up, we have to be present for it. We shouldn't run away from it or cover it up with consumption, distraction, or diversion. We should simply recognize it and embrace it, like a mother lovingly embracing a crying baby in her arms. The mother is mindfulness, and the crying baby is suffering. The mother has the energy of gentleness and love. When the baby is embraced by the mother, it feels comforted and immediately suffers less, even though the mother does not yet know exactly what the problem is. Just the fact that the mother is embracing the baby is enough to help the baby suffer less. We don't need to know where the suffering is coming from. We just need to embrace it, and that already brings some relief. As our suffering begins to calm down, we know we will get through it. Mindfulness gives us the strength to look deeply and gives rise to understanding and compassion. Let's have a go now at working with Sphinx, and we're going to hold Sphinx for a minute or two. So feet are hip width. We're going to bring the hands so that they're shoulder width apart. You're resting on your forearms, and a beautiful gentle back bend. Eyes can be open or closed. Again, you might like to bring your gaze back to the center of your forehead, Shambhavi Mudra. Skin of the face soft, gentle smile on your lips. Just allowing the breath to flow up and down your spine. When you've had enough, just gently lower yourself down. And this time we'll bring the arms along by the sides of the body, just turning the head to one side. If that's gone into your lower back a little bit, just bend the lower legs and you can swing them from side to side. Work with one more back strengthening pose, our dynamic Shalabhasana locust. So we start off with the head to the side, exactly as we are, exhaling all breath. And then on the next inhalation, we're going to turn the head to center, lift the legs, lift the arms. As we exhale, we lower everything down and head turns the opposite way. So breathing in, we lift. And breathing out, we lower. Link this movement with your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep going. Rest when you need to. Those of you who'd like to, the next time you lift up, you might hold the pose. Just keep the breath flowing. When you've had enough, lower down. Take a resting breath. And then we're going to take one arm above the head and roll over onto our backs, bringing the knees into the chest. Give yourselves a lovely hug and a rock from side to side. If you'd prefer to work with Happy Baby, feel free to do that. Seeing if you can rock right over to your elbow and then use the elbow to help push you back to center and to the other side. And come back to center, hug and a squeeze. And we're going to stretch the legs out along the mat. We're going to work with 3 final stretches before we move into Shavasana. So coming back also to our chant of Hu. As we inhale, let's sweep the arms overhead. So we're stretching from fingertip to toe tip, and then we'll chant the arms down. Hu. 2 more. Hu. Hu. Take a breath. And let's prepare now for Shavasana, relaxation. So gathering whatever you need to be comfortable, to be fully supported. And if you wear glasses, you might pop those to one side. I'm going to come up to be closer to you once again. I'll just sigh the breath away 2 or 3 times. When we practice this pose, Shavasana, at the end of our sessions, it's a very important and precious time when the full effects of the practices can soak in. So just give yourself permission now to rest. Begin to release the weight of your bones into the earth and feel the support of the earth beneath you. Shavasana is essentially about undoing and simply being. So enjoy this time of deep rest, deep quiet, deep peace. While you're resting, I'd like to share a passage with you from the Buddhist teacher, Master Chogyam Trungpa. As long as we are trying to figure out how we can escape from our present situation, we can't notice much about it. Only when we feel that this is it, this is how it is right now, without any clutching towards something different, will our intelligence really come alive. As soon as we've realized the resistance, which is the seeking a way out, we become softer, fuller, more tender and awake. Rather than a small, fearful self, there is a freedom of opening unconditionally to life as it is and becoming that openness. So feel free to remain lying down if you have the time and are happy to stay there. Otherwise, I invite you now to start deepening the breath. And bringing a little bit of movement into your fingers and toes. I'd like to have a bit of a stretch. Do what feels good. Quietly rolling over to one side and making your way up into a comfortable seated position. We'll close our practice this morning with the chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So if you'd like to join with me, bring the hands together at the heart. Exhale all breath. Breathing in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for joining with me this morning. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday or Sunday if you're coming to the Sacred Pause. Lots of love to you all. Bye.